Whenever I play piano, I get these great images of cartoons in my head, great ideas for sketches. Hi, I'm Bruce Blitz, and welcome to Cartooning with Blitz. And I think the reason for that is that music and cartooning just go real well together. And on today's show, that's what we'll be doing, drawing cartoons with a musical theme. We'll take it step by step, note by note, so you can follow along too. And for our feature of the day, Fly, Skip, Ship, a great way to add movement to your drawings. And we have our doodle trick portion later on, and it's a couple words, and one will make you happy, and one will make you sad. Stay tuned, I know you'll like that one too. So let's get started, and our first sketch is going to be a jazz sax player, and that's a great sketch to do. So let's start with a couple shapes, as always. And first one is an oval, right about here. And his body will be a line, just going to indicate the action, and a couple shapes for his feet. 1, 2, and 1 out here for his arm, and here's another circle for his hand. Now, if you've got that, you've got it made, because now what we're going to do is go into his face and add the features. Here's his nose, and we need a facial expression because he's blowing into a sax. He's going to have a really big cheek, just like real puffy like that. And here's his mouth. And let's put his ear in. This is a side view of him. And if he's a jazz sax player, he's going to have shades on. So let's do that. And that's just a rectangle that we're going to fill in. And this line goes back to his ear. And we can even make that a little darker there. Some stubbles. Let's give him a crew cut. And his eyebrows up. Because he's happy. Okay, now let's see what we can do. Now, for his arm, we're going to thicken that line up that we already laid down, because that's all it is, just thickening up what we've already got started. And here's his jacket. And here's his stomach. Right where his waist is, we'll make that line right there. And here's his feet. See how his cheeks puffing out like that? I had a friend of mine who plays trumpet. His name is Hank. And we kid him about it because he gets as red as a beet, and his cheeks puff out like that. But that's how you play a wind instrument. It takes a lot of wind. Okay, this hand right here is going to be holding the sax. So here's his hand. Now, right from his mouth, we're going to make a big curly line like this, come out, and up and around, and we're going to make an oval over here, because that's going to be the bell of the saxophone. Now we're going to double that wavy line that we made, come back through his hand, and taper it right before it goes into his mouth. Beautiful, there it is. Now what we're going to do is put his other hand in, which is behind, and this one here would be palms out, although it would be blocked by the sax, but his palm would be facing us. So there's his thumb, and his fingers are wrapped around, and let's have one going out that way. And let's sticken that in, and there it is. So now let's put some detail on the sax. As I said, I always get great ideas when I'm playing music, and whenever I'm sketching, I get great ideas for music. They really do go well together. Let's put some darkness in there. That makes it look like it's got depth, so you can actually put your hand right in there. And you know what? I think that's all we're going to do to this. Next, let's put some color in it, so make the sketch come out a little bit more too. So use some of my tuning pencils for this one. Now for the face, as I said, we have to make that red. So after we put some color in like that, we use a little bit of red, and that'll make the sketch a little funnier. There you go. And let's make him a cool jazz sax player, and let's give him a plaid jacket. A couple lines going every which way. And we'll even color his pants in blue, make them color coordinated. And some yellow for the sax. And some color for his hands there. Oh, forgot his other sleeve, didn't I? Let's do that. There it is. Great cartoon sketch. You know what? While you're looking at that, play a little jazz saxophone music. All right, this next sketch is going to be of a woman playing the flute. Now you'd think that was called a flute player or a flutist, but it's not. That's a flautist. I don't know why they call it that, folks, but that's what they call it, a flautist. So we'll draw an oval shape like this, And did you notice how I made that shape, by the way? I loosely moved my hand around the page, and when I was happy with that movement, I lowered the pen to the page, and I got that loosely drawn shape. You don't want to get that tight look to your work. Okay, now let's draw her face. And her face is going to be down because she's leaning down to play the flute, or to play the flout, whatever it is, I don't know. And some lipstick, and her eyes are used, just like her nose a little bit, because her eyes are closed. Let's see, what kind of haircut we'll give her. We're a big wavy hairdo. And some earrings. Now, this sketch is a very tricky one when it comes to the hands, and I'll show you what I mean. Here's her shoulder, and here's her arm coming out like this, and coming over here, and it's coming up holding the flute. Now, her palms are facing in, so you make some bumps of the knuckles, and the last one, which is the pinky, is bent around, and now let's put the flute in, which is right underneath the lips, which is nothing more than a cylindrical shape, very long, and some circles. And let's put her other arm in with her hand, and that's also tricky, and that's behind, so you don't draw through that. Comes up, and here it is. Her palms are also facing the other way, but her pinky is on this side, so there's the pinky, some bumps, and here's her thumb holding on to the flute. Very tricky pose. Hands are very tricky, and put some musical notes coming from the flute. I like that one. Play a little flute music, a little flautist music. Take a look at that. Makes me sad. Sorry. All right, let's liven things up a little bit. The next one's called Tons of Pun. You know what a pun is? A pun is a play on words. Sometimes words have different meanings, and it lends itself very well to cartooning because you can illustrate these things. I'll show you what I mean. I'll do a Tons of Pun sketch for you, and you tell me what it is. Okay, start with a piece of paper, which we draw like this, bent on its side, some lines on it, musical notes, and right over here, let's see, and a shape that looks like a top, and some more musical notes. Now I'm going to put a little color into this, because that's what's going to make it come alive and make the gag work. Oops, here we go. And maybe a drop of green up here. All right, you ready? Okay, what is that? You give up? Okay, that's music with a beat. All right, that's what you call our Tons of Pun segment. And it stays in the show, that's right, I don't care, it stays in. We'll do them from time to time, they're a lot of fun. Okay, let's do another sketch. And this sketch is going to be of a guitar player. Let's do that one. And it starts with a shape, just like this. And for the body, come straight down like this. And for his feet, you know what? We'll put him in a pose like Chuck Berry, where he's doing that strut that he does. And one leg goes back like this, and the other one goes up like that. Now, that's all we have to do. Now, let's put his face in. Here's his nose and his mouth. Well, he's going to be singing real loud, so make a real wide mouth like that. And his eyes are shut tight. And his ears, and let's give him long hair. Coming out of the back, coming out of the top. And let's darken that shape we started with a little bit. All right. Okay, next, we're going to draw his arm coming out like this and holding on to the guitar. Now, guitars are great to do because here's his hand. Now, usually he'd be holding a pick, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to have his hand spread out like that, like he's strumming. And guitars are a lot of fun, as I said, because you can make any shape and it works. Let's give him a real great shape electric guitar like that. And then put some dials on it. And his other arm is coming around like this. and it's holding on to the guitar. Fingers are wrapped around, and his thumb's up there. And here's the neck of the guitar, and here's where you tune the guitar. I used to play guitar. I used to play a little guitar, not much. It was a very little guitar. It was about 3 inches. No, I'm only kidding. I did play a little guitar, but actually my main instrument was piano. And I played parties and show bands. I had a great time doing that. And I really do believe that music, put his foot there, music and art really do go together, because I used to get great ideas for sketches just from being around the music. Here's a shadow there. Now he's leaning forward, he's doing the Chuck Berry strut. And we put some musical notes coming from his guitar, and a chord, because it's an electric guitar, some movement, and some musical notes here, and there it is. And we have to add one more thing here. And what do you think this is? Some action lines. That's right, it's a rock, because he's a rock musician, and that rock's aimed at his head. And let's add some color to this guy. I think it came out pretty good. And you know, I'll tell you one thing that music and art have in common, and that is you have to practice. You have to practice both of them, or you don't get much better. And you definitely want to get better, because they're both fun. A little red for his tongue. Let's give him a red guitar too. How's that? And how about you? Do you practice a lot? Do you have a sketch pad with you all the time? Because that's a great way to get better. Have a little yellow here for a shirt. And let's have him wearing blue jeans. So I'm going to put some blue. If you keep a sketch pad with you all the time, you're always ready to be quick on the draw. And that works out real well. Okay, let's do another sketch. And this next one will be like an Elvis kind of character with the Chuck Berry. Now we're going to work our way around rock and roll and do an Elvis type. And we'll have him on his knees singing to somebody. So let's start with an oval again, real lightly. And here's his body. And here's his legs coming out forward and back. Now right about here, I'll put his nose in and a big old smile. His teeth out, big chin, his tongue, an ear. Now I've got to give him a big pompadour. Just like that, I like that. And his eyes are up. And here's how we make that look like a shiny head of black hair. Let the pen work for you. Go back and forth and get that nice spontaneous look to your work. And you get that shine by leaving the white space in the middle. Give him longer sideburns, after all. And a big collar in the back. And here's his arm, his shoulder. This arm is going to be straight out. And his hand is in this position. He's singing. And this hand here is down and up because he's holding on to the microphone. His fingers are coming down this way. And a microphone is a cylinder shape with a circle on the end. And let's thicken this shape up, define it a little bit. And here's his legs. And as I said, he's on his knees, so this comes back, and here's his boots. Let's give him boots. And we'll double that line because that's his other foot. And I've got to put these sequins on him. And let's put some shadowing here so he doesn't look like he's floating in space. Now let's put him on a stage. High up there on a stage. And let's put a cord on the mic. These days you don't really need a cord on the mic, do you? But for a cartoon, sometimes old-fashioned looks better. Sells the sketch better. Okay. Some musical notes and a screaming fan. What else? Circle. And big smile. Nose. Eyes. and her hair, and a big heart, because she loves Elvis. Okay, I got another one for you, and this is going to be a quickie, but I'm really going to take this step by step, so you follow along with me, okay? We'll start with an oval. Right about here, and we're going to draw a maestro, like a conductor of a big orchestra. And right in that circle, we're going to draw his face, and he's got a big nose like that. And his expression, well, he's going to be determined, and his mouth is in that shape right there. And like the flute player, flautist, 2 U's for eyes. And his eyebrows are up, and this one's down, because he's very confident. And here's his ear, one there, and one there. Now for his hair, well, he's like a mad professor. So he gets that real wild look. Now I want to just darken in that shape that we started with. Now for his outfit, first let's block in 2 lines like that. So you do that, and then over here, this is his musical stand that he's in front of, and this is going to be for his body, and this is going to be for his arms. Just like that. Now for here, a figure 8 on its side. All right, you can do that. And a couple lines like that, because it's his tie. And what we're going to do here is we're not going to draw it, we're just going to keep using our marker to make this thick. And that's going to be his black tuxedo. And the same thing here for his arms. Coming up. And for his hands, well, he's holding onto a baton. And here's his fingers wrapping around. And here's the baton. And his other hand, a circle with a thumb and 4 fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fingers on a circle. It's a very easy method for doing a cartoon. Hand. And let's put some movement and some musical notes around him. And there's a maestro sketch for you. And for your drawings today, if you followed along and didn't finish them, just go back, use them as reference, clean them up later, and that's a good way to practice. Now stay tuned for our feature of the day with Fly, Skips, Ship. Now this is a fun feature to do, and it starts with a drawing of Skip and a ship. Very simple to do. Starts with a bullet shape like that, and some fins. And right about here we'll draw the cockpit, and this is where old Skip sits himself. And we'll draw a circle, and some eyes, a nose, and a mouth. Probably can't see old Skip too well, but he's in there, and he's flying the ship. Some lines like this indicate the glass cockpit. And we can put some more detail on the ship, like a door, some circles for portholes. And being that he's flying in space, let's draw like a big moon. And this is cartoon world, so we'll put a face on the moon, a nose and some eyes. And you could add as much detail as you want, some craters maybe. And here's Earth. He's flying above Earth. These lines indicate the longitude and latitude. How about that? I wasn't listening in school, huh? All right. Okay, there it is. And I won't finish that. I have a finished version of Skip and his ship, and I'll show that to you right now. And it looks like this. I have it all colored in. And what you want to do at this point is you want to make 2 slits on the picture. Now, if you need help, get someone to help you, and you could use a knife with that, or you could use a scissors if that's a little safer. And what you want to do is you want to make a slit right here and right here. About the distance between that fin and that fin. And then on another piece of paper, I cut a strip about that long, and I took a marker, some red, some yellow, and I made some rough lines like this to make it look like smoke and fire and the stuff that comes out of the back of a spaceship. And I taped it together so we could have a longer flight. And you'll see how this works in a second. Now what you do is, right through those slits that you made, you thread the strip, just like this, and bring it all the way through. And here's the fun part. Now we lay it down, and you pull that tab right through like this. Ready? That's my sound effects, folks. And he's flying through the air. The longer the strip, the longer the flight. And there it is. Fly, skip, ship. A lot of fun to do. Next up, cartoon doodle trick. Stay tuned. I'd like to welcome my friends for today's doodle trick. How you doing, guys?
Hello.
Okay, now remember I told you we would do happy and sad. So let's start with sad so we can end on a happy note. And we'll write the word sad. Spell sad for me. Ready?
S.
S.
A.
A.
D.
D. Put the D over here. Okay, now with a little detail, we can make a sad guy. So we'll put a circle here and another circle there. And we'll cut those circles right in half. And we'll put some eyes in there and an eyebrow up and a teardrop because he is sad. Now the A will become his mouth. So we'll put some lines in there and a shape like that and his tongue, and we'll darken this in because it's inside his mouth. And right here, the D will become his ear. And there's his other ear. Now we'll just put a big U shape like this for his facial outline and some hair. And this guy is really sad. I feel bad for him. What do you think of that? You like that, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, let's do another one. Now we'll do something happy. And we'll do something happy from the word clown. And spell clown for me. Ready?
C.
C.
L.
L. Put the L over here.
O.
O. Put the O right here.
W.
W.
N.
N. Okay. And there it is. There's the clown. Pretty good, huh? Okay, now, no, I'm only kidding. We got more. And right here we'll put his face. Put a big circle and a smile like that. And we'll double that line because it's his makeup. He's a clown. And two lines like this for his eyes. And let's see. Okay, his ears. And let's give him crazy, fluffy clown hair. I like that. And a clown hat. And a pom-pom or two. Now, for his outfit, well, we always have those big collars, fluffy collars, right? So we'll do that. And for his body, let's put in some buttons, and we'll double this line and make it his arm and his hand on his hip. And this one here will be his other arm. So let's double this line, and here's his hand. And he's waving at us. Okay, now there are obviously his legs, but we have to put some detail on that. Some fluffy lines like that, and now his crazy, gigantic, floppy clown feet. And there it is from the word clown, a clown. You like that, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's all the time we have for today, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And for our Blitz tip. Now, everybody always talks a lot about success and what you have to do to be successful. But you know what? The main thing is, all success comes from doing one thing, daring to begin. You like that? I'm Bruce Blitz saying thanks for being with me, and help me out. Keep on cartooning!
Svet med da bo te veoma